Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Gal.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. And Nick is here.
Hey, good morning as well. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, morning. And Katie is here with us.
I've returned.
Yeah, Spence is taking care of some grandkids, so he's probably listening, but he's not going to be here. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So what's going on?
Okay.
Well, hold on.
What?
Before you do your
how
thing.
dare you?
No, this is important. Before we do anything, we have to say happy birthday to our friend Mike Phillips,
Oh,
yeah.
who's
happy
turning
birthday.
he's turned 70 years young today.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Happy
Birthday,
birthday,
Mike.
Mike.
Nice. Yep. Yeah. I always envy people that keep up with these dates and stuff. I don't have any idea.
You know, Amnon, I have this thing called a phone. And this phone has a calendar. And people that I care about, I put their birthday
you do a
in the
lot of other
calendar.
stuff with the phone that I don't also, so
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah, like text, like email, photos.
I'm in the same boat. I forget.
Gambling.
I'm like, oh, I'll remember that, and then I don't.
Yeah.
So anyway, Katie, you were going to say...
Yeah,
Wait.
I gotta catch everybody up on what I've been doing for the past few weeks. I don't know how long it's been since I've been on the show. Almost a month, maybe 3 weeks. But I've had 2 cons in between. So one of them was in Fayetteville, which went okay. There wasn't a lot of people that showed up, but I made my money back on the booth. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. But I started selling my 3D printed terrain, and people are really interested in that. And I got some good feedback.
What is that?
So for the games. I like to compare it to like model trains. So you have the trains, but then you need the trains to be on a landscape, and the landscape can either just be a flat surface or Legos or whatever, or you could have rocks and whatever buildings. And so I supply the rocks and the buildings, but not for trains. I guess you could use it for trains, but for tabletop games. So specifically Warhammer, that's a big one. Warhammer, it's almost like playing Army Men, but set in the year 40,000 or whatever it is. And so I got good feedback. I also I do the D&D maps. And so I was supplying the 3D terrain that go on top of the maps. So then I went on vacation, so that's why I was gone for one of the weekends. Then I had my second con, which was last weekend, and that went really well. That was in Durham, NC Comic Con, and I had quite a few people that like pulled up, and they just like dropped a boatload of cash just to like buy out my trade. So I was like, ooh, yes, I got something. But I had a bar owner. So downtown Raleigh has a bar, a game bar, and the bar owner saw my dice tower mugs. I don't know if I showed them, but oh yeah, you can kind of see them behind me. But you put your can of beer or can of soda, whatever, in the koozie, and it has a dice tower attached to it. And the dice tower is basically a hole that you could put your dice in, and it rolls it for you. And then on the dice tower, I have a shield that could be, you could put a logo there. So we saw those dice tower mugs, and he was like, I want those for my bar, and I want you to put my bar's logo on them. And I said, sure, we can do that. So this weekend, I did some prototypes last week, and then yesterday I went to his bar, and he ordered some Dice Tower mugs, and he bought some of my maps. So I've officially sold to my first business. So I'm just gonna move up from here. Hopefully, more bars and stuff are gonna be like, "Hey, we want this at our bar," and I'll start getting big orders. Oh,
Nice.
and I ordered a second 3D printer. So am I officially a 3D printer farm? Because I've got 2 printers now pumping
Don't tell
out
the
stuff.
federal government. Keep that on the down low. Nope, you have one and you're using it as a hobby. Shut
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Okay, you're right. You're right. Just a hobby. Only one.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm
Hey, as
super
long as you don't
pumped about
smoke it, I don't think the government really cares.
So I'm gonna.
That's awesome news, Katie.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited. The owner is super awesome, and he's super stoked about it. And so I'll do his order, his 3D print order, and go back and give him the mugs, and hopefully he sells out immediately and then orders more.
So here's the real question for people listening or watching. Are you selling any of this stuff on Etsy, or are you only selling it at cons?
I am selling on Etsy. I'm selling the maps on Etsy. My 3D printed stuff I have not put on Etsy yet, but that is my goal. Things have been going so fast, but now that I have a chunk of time where I don't have any cons, so I had like back-to-back cons for a while, and so I just was like printing stuff to sell there, and I just can't keep up. I have a full-time job too, so it's like I can't keep up everything. But now that I've got November, the rest of November and December off with no cons, I'm going to put my 3D stuff or 3D printed stuff on Etsy. That is my goal.
Cool.
But yes, it'll be there.
Very nice. Very nice, Katie.
Yes, it's good news. Good news. I don't have any tech news. That's what I've been focusing on like the past month.
Do these mugs say anywhere on them that you made them?
No, there's not like a logo or anything on them.
Maybe you should at the bottom.
Yeah.
The URL. Yes.
Bottom side of the mug.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard. It would be hard to 3D print that. Put a sticker or something, or take how thick is the bottom of the
They're pretty thick.
How thick's the bottom?
It's pretty thick. It's probably half an inch thick.
You know, it would be interesting to do a you could get a metal get something made out of metal that you can heat up and probe the bottom of it with and do like an emboss.
Yeah.
Then you're not.
You could etch the name. I mean, during the 3D print.
Yeah, those bottom layers are kind of weird to do that stuff with. They can be. If it's the bottommost layer, it depends. Katie, you have a nice printer, so maybe it's not a problem for you.
Yeah, I'll have to experiment. I talked about that with my friend.
And I'm not much into it, but what happens if after the mug is ready, you put it upside down on the table there, and you just print a little logo on it?
Yeah, but then so the problem there is you want the bottom to be flush, so it needs to be stable when there's something in it, right, on the table. If you add to it, then you're breaking the stability.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely put some kind of branding on the bottom, Katie. That's a huge, especially if these are in public places. That's a huge opportunity for you.
Yeah. I'll think about it. I'll talk to my friend and we'll come up with something.
Your the logo is magnetic, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there, like underneath the logo.
But the problem with that though is that it can be magnetic or they could just glue it. So I'd rather put it on the mug itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can probably
but
also
definitely, like, the fact that you have the deal is awesome. If you can lean in on the marketing, sort of, right, and make sure that people know it's yours, that will be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. That'd be cool.
There are these,
and it can be as simple as a sticker.
It could be a sticker, but there's also those little tools that you can etch glass or whatever, just like a vibrating thing. and you can write on the bottom of the cup with it. You can sign it, you can whatever. I mean, it just kind of scratches it.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'll do some
sticker.
research. I'll look up what other people have done.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Oh, that's my news for today. I'm heading out. Bye,
All
guys.
positive. Okay, bye, King.
Sounds about right. See you.
I've got a business to run.
Uh-huh.
I'm working over here.
Yeah.
What else?
Another week in paradise, as Bill Collins said.
There was something here about
So,
about
Amnon, you sent me a news article
oh yeah,
about
about that home automation.
Chamberlain,
Yeah.
the owner of the MyQ service, the garage openers, and sort of quietly but surely, they've been kicking out any any users of their API that was open before, and they closed the API only to authorized resellers, authorized third parties. Basically, only ADP and all of the security companies that pay them probably some sort of fee uh, are now allowed to use their API. And any free option that would have connected to the API, like the A word ecosystem, like the Google Home ecosystem, uh, Amazon App Kit, and that includes Home Assistant, they're all shut out. So anybody who had automation based on that, it no longer works. Um, Sort of like if you read on the internet, uh, the uh, the reaction is that's a dick move. I say it is a dick move, but the fact that it was open for free was surprising to start with, because they even charge a fee for people who use their own application. Uh, like they charge a subscription fee. So, um, but it shows again that once you rely on a company outside of your home providing you service inside of your home, especially if they're free, then you're screwed. And when it comes to home automation, you do not want anybody from the outside to really have control of anything inside your home. So it just shows it's just another example, and I think we're going to see more and more and more of these. Like it's going to stop becoming news. It's just going to be an annoyance. So any any socket you bought for, I don't know, $5 that connects to a server outside uh, will have a very limited time shelf time. That's my feeling. Focus if you are interested in home automation going forward. I would say focus on connectivity within the home, something that you have a hub that you completely control. You do not have any. You do not need any external access to get to. Um, and make sure that all of the devices are connecting to the hub and not externally. I mean, with the garage opener, it's possible to install something that replaces um, or adjacent to the hardware key that is installed on your garage wall, for example, and that can control opening and closing. It becomes more complex when it's not built in into the system, right? Because you won't know when the door is open, for example, so you'll need another set of sensors for that. But as long as you control things and you have the ability, even if somebody else is doing this for you initially, make sure that the entire system is inside the home. Uh, Everything is controlled from within. The only thing that you should rely on externally should be DNS. Like everything else should be inside your home. So,
Hmm.
We know how
yeah,
freaking
that's
DNS works. All about that.
I mean, we know, but that's the only thing that we truly rely on external service, right? The ISP and the DNS. So just make sure you can set this up and you control it. Anything else, you are giving control to a third party. And if that third party disappears, right, so is your control. That's so simple. It's such a simple equation. Uh, the fact that something was cheap does not necessarily mean it was good, right?
I will say this,
Especially for
God,
the
I'm
long
not disagreeing with your point. But there are a couple of these, and obviously any of this stuff could change. There are a couple of the companies that are making these smart devices that I would trust more than others. I think TP Link through their Casa brand, that's a wide enough brand. I don't envision that going anywhere. Um, of course, Amazon makes all of their own smart switches and clicks and things like that. They're probably not going anywhere. Um, who's the other big one? Govee. They're making a whole bunch of those things. They're, you know, if you stick with some more mainstream brands, you're in better shape. Still the risk, but when you buy an $8 thing from some Chinese company on Amazon with their own proprietary app, you've opened yourself up to a potential for that to disappear. But I guess at $8, when it stops working, you replace it with something else. So maybe
yeah, but
it's don't invest a lot into it if that's the case.
but don't forget uh Wink, right?
Yeah,
Was a shit show. And that was
Sure.
not cheap stuff. And
right.
that was a
No,
brand that was supposedly supposed to be like stable. Uh
true. It can happen.
and Amazon themselves, if you remember, they had the whole order buttons,
Mhm.
the Amazon buttons that they just flat out decommissioned, right? And even with voice assistants, um, I think their first generation has fallen into end of life. So you don't even know if those are going to continue working eventually, right? Stuff like that. It's like if it's not the ecosystem is not completely within your home,
Sure.
understand that you are making a bet on this system, right? And that bet might not fall through.
The reason
Um,
I say what I say is it's a good I think for a lot of folks buying some of these third party systems are a good parlay into something like
yes,
Home Assistant in the future. And that's what I want to encourage. If it starts off with a 4 pack of Casa plugins that, you know, you use the TP Link app to control, I think that's okay. And as you build out your system and say, man, this is pretty damn cool. Let me buy this and buy that. It's a
agreed.
that's how I started, and I think it's a much easier way to get into home automation than immediately with Home Assistant, immediately with Z Wave, and figuring all of that. And most of the time, you can connect those things long term.
Only in systems like Home Assistant,
Yes.
right? Only if you go open to something open, then you will be able. Okay, so I have some Casa stuff, and I have some
Mhm.
Philips stuff, and I have, yeah, and there is a location that you can interconnect them. I would say yes, definitely start up with something. I started out was non right self-hosted solution,
Good.
but and I would definitely recommend anybody going into this start cheap, start seeing the possibilities, but remember, right, that the reason you chose that was because that was the cheap is something simple solution. And if you do go that way, right, I would urge check. And for now, it's on us. There's no sticker like for the Amazon and Google stuff, right? Check that it interconnects with something open like Home Assistant. Okay,
Definitely.
like yeah, like if you're not sure, go to their forum and ask a question. Say, I'm thinking of buying this and this. Will it work with Home Assistant? Uh, this like first step will ensure that even if you bought in cheap, you at least won't throw it away once you want to dig deeper.
Yeah, for example, I actually didn't even purchase this. It came with the house. I have it's an older, but it's a smart thermostat from Honeywell. It came with the house. I've been um who makes the really nice, um, who who is it?
Nest. You
No,
talking about?
no, the other one, the ones with Z-Wave. They're really, really nice, but they're expensive. They're like $250. Um, damn it, the name is escaping me
Ecobee?
right. Ecobee, yes, they make
Yeah.
really, really nice Z-Wave thermostats, and eventually I'll purchase one. But it was nice that, and still to this day, I'm able to control that via Home Assistant. Um, Now it's an older Honeywell unit, like not even it's a single pane, not even LCD. It's an LCD panel, not an LED panel. That will there eventually that device will be end of life. It'll drop out, and that'll be okay. And then I can go and purchase an Ecobee, which are super cool. So yeah, definitely do a little bit of the due diligence on the back end for sure.
Okay. And talking about starting cheap and something happens later on. People who buy a Fire TV from Amazon are probably looking for a cheap and simple way to get an affordable 4K smart TV. When Amazon announced its first branded TV in September 2021, they advertised them as being a great value. But owners of the devices will soon be paying for some of those savings in the form of more prominently displayed advertisements.
Wait. Didn't Walmart sue them that they were using great value as their
I don't know.
tagline?
Yeah, I got confused between my box of cereal and my and my television.
So, the Amazon director of TV advertising monetization and engagement
Wow.
detailed the new type of ads that Amazon is selling on Fire TVs. In a Stream TV Insider report from November 1st, Amazon said the new ads will allow advertisers to reach an average of 155 million unique monthly viewers. Some of the changes targeting advertisers, like connecting display placement ads with specific in stream video ads, seem harmless enough. Others could jeopardize the TV watching experience for owners. They can do whatever they want at that point.
They can try.
Well,
I mean, it'll all end up if they end up pissing off their consumers too much,
uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
It'll reach court. I mean, that's the way it has been in the past, right? Like when a corporation goes a bit too far with something, right? Either sales drop and or it goes to court, right? Even if you sign the contract and there's the little the small lettering saying that they are allowed to change the behavior and all of that,
Right.
there are things that are beyond reasonable, right? And even if they succeed in court, right, then sales will drop. It's one or the other. They still need to find the right balance on what how much they can abuse the consumer here. So uh I mean they'll try. I doubt this is the direction. The industry isn't saturated enough with others doing this, right? So they are taking the risk. That's the thing. They're doing this. Even
Eh,
Roku, right? The only sort of advertising you get is on the homepage, right?
Mhm.
You get some you get some banner on they've never went uh like showing you a full video just when you switch on the TV, for example, right? If that'll happen, if somebody will want to break their TV instead of watch it, right?
Break it.
It won't work.
Yeah.
So, especially if you paid money, it doesn't matter if you paid $50 or you paid 150, right? Now, on the alternative, right? Remember we talked about telly
Yeah.
And Spence just sent us a notice that he got his registration notice. So theoretically, he's going to get a large TV situated in the home that he got completely free, and they're paying for it with advertising. That is going to be interesting, because if they can make that work, that would be a game changer. And you are going to allow a lot more abuse here, sort of, right? Um, uh, because you got it for free. So
Yeah,
that's going to be an interesting experiment.
and remember, it's not just their advertisement; it's also the advertisements of whatever you're watching.
Yes, but the fact is they are managing the ad
Yeah,
campaign, right? So, but yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I've registered as well, but I haven't gotten an invitation. So we'll see.
The telly is the one with the extra screen, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has like another wide area of display beneath the
yeah,
screen itself.
yeah.
Interesting, right? I mean, they have an interesting. I just do not know, for example, what type of input they're getting. If it's more than just a remote control, if they're getting more input into the usage of the TV, because then they can collect a lot of metrics, right, about the viewers.
Sure.
But are they is there any proximity sensor? Do they know when somebody is next to the TV? That starts to be creepy, right? So uh, it's going to be an interesting
And if it
experiment.
and if it does work, and if that thing that Amazon is doing, yeah, they're taking the risk now. But if it does work, then you see all the rest of them doing the same thing.
True. You're actually going to see a lot of, I don't think big competitors, but smaller competitors, they'll probably try the same thing to see if they can get away with it, right? But I doubt that you're going to be complacent with it, like as a consumer culture. We'll see. Maybe I'm too naive, and I think others care about this more as much as me. I don't know.
We'll wait and see. It's a wait and see. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Mm, ransom stuff. One of the nation's largest private radiology companies agreed to pay the 450,000 fine after a 2021 ransomware attack led to the exposure of sensitive information from nearly 200,000 patients. This is in New York. Um, U.S. Radiology failed to immediate and a vulnerability announced by security company SonicWall on January 2021. U.S. Radiology used the company's firewall to protect its network and provide managed services for many of the partner companies, including the Windsong Radiology Group, which has 6 facilities across Western New York. Um, I hope somebody learned from it back then. Because this is bad. I mean, yeah, what's
Breaks HIPAA.
450,000? Big
Yeah,
deal.
that's nothing. I thought you were going to say $450 million, not
Yeah,
$450,000.
right. I mean, 450,000 for nearly 200,000 patients. How much is that per patient? It's ridiculous.
Well, the 450K is just the fine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Uh, they probably lost uh, a lot when just being hit by the ransomware, and they probably even paid the ransom. So,
I don't know. Maybe, maybe. But it's anyway. It's ridiculous. Now we talked about it some time ago. This is Apple will pay $25 million in back pay and civil penalties to settle a matter over the company's hiring practices under the Immigration and Nationality Act, the Department of Justice announced. Apple has agreed to pay 6.75 million in civil penalties and establish an $18.25 million fund for back pay to eligible discrimination victims. Apple was accused of not advertising positions that it wanted to fill through a federal program called Permanent Labor Certification Program, or PERM,
yeah.
which allows U.S. companies to recruit workers who can become permanent U.S. residents after completing a number of requirements. They wanted to keep those for their own people. That's it took a long time, but now they have to pay. So that's good thing, good news for a lot of people that felt like they were discriminated against. What are you thinking, Guy?
I mean, I just don't know. It sounds like an immigration thing, right? Uh, the quotes. I'm looking at the Ars Technica
Yeah,
article about this.
yeah.
Like the quotes from them is unintentionally not been following the DOJ standards. Um, I I have no idea. I know what the process is. I went through a perm process myself, right? Uh, and I haven't done it with Apple, so I don't know if they did something
Hmm.
wrong, right? But the process is very rigorous, and I did not think even a bit that there's a way of circumvented it in any way. So I find it, I don't know, I find it strange, and I wonder if the technicalities that this issue, this lawsuit
The decision was
is
made.
based upon,
Hmm.
right, is more political than technical. I don't know. Just sounds weird. I mean, did they bring a lot of employees from abroad? Probably. Uh, were they not following the rules? That one I find like it's so hard not following the rules these days with the processes that are in place, and none of these processes are either swift or quick or anything to that. Like there's no. I've never felt that there's a point where you can cut a corner. So I don't know. Um, I mean, good that they are responsible for that they are found responsible. It's just I'm really curious about the detail, like whether there's more than just that loss.
Yeah, but it was and it is. So we'll see. Hey Nick, do you have any updates about the Epic? What's going on in court
Apple,
now with? I think it's Google now. No.
the big lawsuit is Epic v. Apple. There hasn't been any major updates in the last couple weeks on that in particular. I know there's an appeal process that's going through it. If I'm being honest with you, it's pretty damn confusing.
Yeah.
to follow exactly. The whole premise of the lawsuit was, um, if you have an app on iOS, part of the terms of service is that any sort of in-app transactions. So if you're purchasing, um, in the case of Epic, it would have been Fortnite. In the case of purchasing V-Bucks or some sort of in-game things, you have to do that through Apple's payment system. And why is that important? Well, Apple charges takes 30% of that right off the top. And that's part of their terms of service. So one of the ways they fund the App Store for free is by taking that. Now, many would argue that 30% is a egregious amount to charge. Epic said, no, we're going to do it ourselves out of app. They did. Apple terminated their contract and then removed the app, and then they've been in a lawsuit since then. So that's what's going on with that.
Okay. I thought there was something.
There's something I find a bit. I think what Amnon was reading is that Google's CEO is going to be a witness in the antitrust lawsuit.
For sure. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
every tech company is now involved in it because of the parties at play.
But I think it's a double-edged sword here for them because they run the Unreal ecosystem
They do.
and they have their own microtransactioning system within Epic, within
They
the
do.
Unreal system, right? So eventually, one of their users, right, is going to sue them of not being able to collect money in another way,
Huh.
right? That's what I'm thinking. It's like they are building the moat that they have built around Unreal will eventually need to take it down if they win this lawsuit
I
against
don't think
Apple and Google.
so. They're very open, and they make most, like, for example, you can build a game outside of Unreal and still use the Unreal payment system as essentially an API. Um, Tim Sweeney, say what you want about him. Um, he means what he says, and he says what he means. He backs this stuff up with practices inside of Epic. They're not a saint of a company by any stretch of the imagination, but they do make a lot of these things available for people. So I'll give them credit for that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. The saga continues.
It does.
Yep. Internet service providers and their lobby groups are fighting a U.S. plan to prohibit discrimination in access to broadband services. Get that? The plan
Well,
is to
planet.
prohibit, and they're fighting it. In particular, ISPs want the Federal Communication Commission to drop the plan's proposal to require that prices charged to consumers be non discriminatory.
Yeah. On what grounds? I'm guessing the claim. I I have never seen a corporation,
Yeah,
right, that flat out says we don't want to sell to these people,
yeah,
right?
right.
Their money is as good as anybody.
Yeah,
We want their money.
right.
But I am guessing, right, that if you have a single home out of town that requires, I don't know, 3 miles of cabling, okay, uh, we want to charge you more. And I'm guessing that somehow is siphoned into the law about discrimination. So again, I'm not saying that they should win, but I'm saying that's probably their stance. That's probably what they're trying to fight on, and that's why they're fighting a ruling that, in essence, is supposed to make sure things are not discriminated in any way. And there are probably entries there that is going to cost these cable companies a lot of money. So
Well, I mean, but that's nothing new.
No, I don't think it's anything new. But somebody in the news, right, in the media, wants to frame this as good versus bad, but it's just crappy versus crappy. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, that's not what I meant. That it's not
I
new.
like it.
This was going on before broadband
I know.
with ISDN in the
Oh,
states.
I'm saying this is nothing
Yeah,
new. I'm saying it's just framed in a new voice in this media article. That's all
um,
I'm saying. I'm saying this
we'll
one
see.
is
Yeah,
about who's writing it and not about the news in it.
that are
That's
not
all.
about the actual news.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, it's interesting though.
Always, yeah. I mean, if you
Uh,
go to politics, right? It's
it
like
is. Yeah,
the politics of voter ID, right? It makes a lot of sense for voting ID, but those who are against it are not against the ID, are against the entire system behind it. Blah 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 blah. Blah. It's like it's all how you frame the conversation. Okay,
I, I love me some
so
voter ID. Let's talk about it. I got some I got some takes.
no, I know. I don't think anybody who's against voter ID, by the way, is against being identified. That's never been the case. It's
Yeah,
about
they're just dishonest brokers of what's going on.
exactly, but it's the dishonesty is from both ends. That's the thing. It's not just about oh everybody needs to be ID'd, right? It's about everybody's gonna need to be ID'd, but we don't care about how it's going to be done. And those who are against it says, okay, let's talk about how it's going to be done. Until you don't give answers for that, we're against it. That's like every other, I don't know, every
There's
uh
honest conversations and there's dishonest conversations. I think is kind of what you're alluding to with
yes,
with this.
yes,
And there are legitimate with whatever it is, politics, tech,
exactly.
whatever. There are honest conversations, and then there are people that just woefully misrepresent the situation and are dishonest brokers of truth. And unfortunately, there's a lot more of the dishonest brokering of truth going on, unfortunately.
Yep.
no. Um, did anybody try lately to close OneDrive?
Don't
No,
even
I
get me
haven't.
Close?
started on OneDrive.
Oh no.
I like we were talking about this a while ago about how all the new computers nowadays comes with OneDrive automatically.
Yeah.
And when I got my new computer, I was having issues with things saving to OneDrive or something. It was like it was online, it wasn't online. And I was like, no, just save it to the computer, put it on the hard drive. Stop trying to put it on OneDrive. And I don't know. I guess I got it worked out because now it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, but now with the latest development is if you are shutting down OneDrive, if you right click on the sys tray and you say exit or whatever is the thing that you do now, there is a survey you have to take before it will do it. Microsoft put a server there. Why are you doing it? And what are the reasons? And blah, 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 blah. And people,
Does it have an option of because I hate you
there's other, I
with
think it says
venom?
other. Yeah, that's a good one. Other,
Yeah, complete hate.
hate. It's just ridiculous. I mean, hey, I want to turn it off. What?
Yeah, but they really want you to
N-
turn it on,
n-
so they want to know why you want to turn it off.
so you lie. You
I
click on
never
the
lie.
first thing.
I never lie. If I have an option of I don't care, then I would say I don't care. Or I actually in the other I say because I hate it, like
Yeah.
complete utter
th-
none of your business. Like
None of your business is a good.
yeah,
Yeah. But look how much time you wasted on it when you close. You just wanted to close it and keep working. Now you had to stop.
Oh, no, no, no. I
And
uninstall it. No, I do not close it. I uninstall it.
yeah, well,
I do it once.
and they keep on installing it every
Every
update.
single time I install Windows, but I do it once.
Oh,
Yeah, that drives me absolutely
yeah, it's
bonkers.
ridiculous. Absolutely. Now
Yeah,
they what? They
it is.
also have a a survey questionnaire when you try to download Chrome or when you try to switch away from Edge. They also have that.
Yeah, but the others they use the same tactics, right?
I don't know.
You search the Chrome web store for
Yeah,
extensions, and it sees that you're not in Chrome. It says, "Hey, why don't you install Chrome?" Right? It's like uh, everybody's peddling their stuff. It's always been the case, but because they are the largest, they're not allowed. I mean, remember when they started with their genuine
uh,
program where they started to check their licenses
right.
and people got furious. I mean, hey, it's
Uh,
legitimate. Come on.
yeah,
If you allow this for a small player, right? Then you will allow it also for the big player. Today it's the norm, right? With DRM and all that. But
right.
if those who were really pissed off were really meaning to do something, right? Then just switch into an OS that allows you to work without any restrictions. Go to a Linux or something like that, right? And stop whining about what you don't want to use. But if you want to use this and this belongs to someone, yeah, you can't change it just by claiming you want it to be changed.
Yes, you can. That's how our world works.
Oh, that's being a victim. The world
Correct.
is
No,
That's how our world works.
Well, I don't let me or don't tell me how I can't complain about my complaining because I'm gonna complain about my complaining.
Now you've upset Katie, Gal. Congratulations.
I'm very upset. I'm gonna take a month long hiatus.
Sabbatical.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Nick, are you ready for specials?
of course
uh
I am.
before
Yeah.
specials, just I have a special of my own.
Oh,
Oh,
We not my own, sorry, but something that I ties into what we talked last week about magnetic cables,
right.
and I talked about volta charge,
Yep.
and they've started their I think it's their Black Friday pricing, and if you go to their website, they are now selling it 40% off the entire site. So if you are looking into quality magnetic cables and tips, definitely check out their website. I use their older standard, which is Volta 2.0. It's great. If I would start today, I would go with their new option, which is called Volta Spark. Um, if you're into it and you're interested in it and you're looking for something reliable, I would definitely recommend them. As I said, they give a lifetime warranty on their cables and tips. So if they break, all you need to do is just reach out to them with a photo of the issue, and they send you a new one. Um, go check them out.
Yeah, I
Volta
will.
Charge.
I'll talk about it a little bit more when we come back from specials.
Okay,
I posted the link in chat, by the way. VoltaCharger.com. I think that's
Volta
them.
Charger. Yep, that's it.
All right, let's do it. Oh crap, where'd my tab go? Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is a pretty interesting image here on the front. So this looks like a grocery store or something like this. Or a gas station maybe.
Yeah, I
And this
guess.
is not uncommon to see these Bitcoin terminals.
Right.
But what is unique about it is if you keep, first of all, it's got a blue screen of death, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. But if you scroll down, you see scam alert on the bottom of it. And so you're thinking, oh God, what the heck's going on here? So this is what the letter reads. The Gillespie, whatever that is, the Gillespie County Sheriff's Office will never ask you for any monetary payments. Report any suspicious calls to the sheriff's office. So they've put a note on this because many a times you'll get calls from these people, oh, your grandson, your nephew is in jail,
Mhm.
and he's done a lot of bad things, and the only way that we can let him out is if you go to this Circle K gas station and get us $150 worth of Bitcoin. And these people will purport themselves as a police department.
Right.
So interesting. First of all, interesting to see the blue screen, and secondly, interesting to see this kind of notice on the bottom of this terminal. I've never seen that before. So
Good.
pretty
Educate
neat.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, a little little real world education. So you show up to this place and you're trying to bail out your great nephew, and you realize, oh hey, maybe I'm being scammed. So yeah, that's that.
All right.
Specials. Finally getting the deals. They're cooking red hot this morning. Our first two products are older generation computers. They're new, but they're not the newest computers on the
Not the
marketplace.
latest.
Great deals though. Let's start it off. This is a Microsoft Surface laptop. This is Microsoft's i MacBook equivalent computer. It's running a Ryzen 7 4980U. That's an 8-core processor. This is about 2 years old at this point. This came out in mid 2021. So the processor's from early 2021. Still a nice processor, 8-core CPU. It's got 8 gigs of RAM and a 256 gigabyte internal solid state drive. It does run Windows 10, so you can tell it's a couple generations old. You can get that free upgrade to Windows 11 on it for sure. But for $600, if you don't need the latest CPU, but you're looking for a stable long-term laptop to use that isn't super low on spec, this is a good deal. The MSRP on this is, they say, normally $1,400, and they're probably right. Um, but this is on sale for $599, and this is available over at Woot. So check that out over there. Next up, this is another older and a much lesser spec laptop. This is more of a tablet. Think of this as an iPad or a Samsung Galaxy Tab. Do not think about it as a Windows computer, even though it is running Windows. This is a VivoBook 13. You can see based on the picture, it's got the little tripod stand kind of thing with the magnetic attached keyboard. Spec wise, this is why I said treat this as a tablet. It's got a Pentium N6000, which is not, it's not the Pentium of
It's not the
the
core.
90s, early 2000s. It's their
Yeah.
newer generation. It does max up to 3.3 gigahertz. It's only got 4 gigabytes of RAM, and it's capped out at 128 gigabytes of eMMC storage. This is running S mode on Windows. So again, iPad or tablet alternative. Maybe you just need to. Maybe you want to run Outlook. Maybe you want to run full version of Word, and you're not happy with what's available on the iPad or what's available on an Android tablet. This is a good product for that. It's
Yeah.
normally $599, on sale for $279. Go ahead, Golf.
This is an awesome form factor for reading comics, by the way.
It is, and it's OLED.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so it is absolutely great for reading on. So, and maybe if you were looking at getting a Kindle, maybe you look at this as an alternative. It
Right,
does.
because
There
you can
is a
run the Kindle app on it, so not a
You
problem.
can.
Yeah.
And I don't think it comes with it, but there is a pen that you can get with it as well. So maybe you use this as a glorified notepad. There are definitely use cases for this, and it's a pretty damn good price at $279. And again, you're getting a full copy of Windows, so you can run some of those low spec Windows apps if you're interested in that. This is also available over at Woot. There's a lot of Woot products today as these companies are trying to clear their stuff out for the new year. We are talking about Amazon televisions before. Screw that. How about a Roku TV? This is the Roku 55-inch smart television. This is their branded TV. I have never seen one of these in person. I'm going to stop by Best Buy this week and see if they have one. Look at how thin the bezels are. They're almost non-existent. It looks like a picture.
Mhm.
And we many TVs are offering thin bezels now. I was surprised at this price factor how thin the bezel was. It's almost non-existent on the top and sides. There is a little bezel along the bottom. They have a 55-inch for $379.99. You can save $120 on that. If you're looking for a larger version, they have the 65-inch as well. That's $549, so you save $100 on that. And the cool thing about it, you don't have to purchase a separate streaming device. The smart TV functionality is baked right into the product. So that is the Roku 55 and 65-inch TVs. They're available over at Best Buy. This is a product I had no idea it existed. And at the price point, I understand why I had no idea it existed. Gal, I'm sure you didn't know this product existed. The Microsoft Audio Dock. I have, this is the craziest thing I've seen. So it is a speaker microphone system that connects via USB-C to your laptop, but it also is a USB-C dock with HDMI. So if you're doing a lot of Teams meetings at home or in your cubicle, and you don't want to typically you're not wearing headphones in meetings like that. This is a audio dock that Microsoft makes. Now, normally it's $250. For $34, you're not only getting a what is a pretty powerful looking speaker, 15 watts, which is pretty strong for a speaker, and a microphone built into it. But you're getting HDMI, two USB Type C ports, and a USB A port, so that you can connect all of this stuff through. And of course, it supports power delivery as well. You just simply plug the dock into the wall, the audio dock, and then it will pass USB C power directly to your device. And it's even got a Teams button on the top. So I guess it auto launches Teams. $35. Pretty cool little device. This is the kind of stuff that Microsoft makes that nobody has any idea about. And by the way, this will work with any sort of web conferencing system because it's just a traditional microphone speaker system. This is also available over at Woot as well. Next up, this has become the quintessential gaming mouse, the G305 from Logitech. It's using their Lightspeed technology, which I'm not sure how this is physically possible, but testing outside of Logitech proves this. Lightspeed, which is wireless, is faster than a cable. I don't know how that's possible, but it is. There are you can go on YouTube and look up reviews of these mice, and it is the same, if not faster, than a wired mouse. This is normally $50. It's on sale for 29, and they've got it available in white, black, blue, some sort of purplish color, and then a teal. So match your setup there. Really cool Logitech mouse. Super low latency, and again, it's made for gaming. That's available over at Amazon. If you're purchasing a television and it's got smart functionality, like maybe it's a Vizio or a Samsung or an LG, but you are not interested in the smart functionality there, Roku is on sale. This is the Roku Ultra LT. This is their 4K standalone streaming media player. These are the fastest ones that you can get. They look like little hockey pucks. Um, Comes with a remote that's got the microphone jack thing built into it as well. $34. This is normally $80 MSRP. So you're saving $46 on it. A really good price for a Roku. They've also got sales on their Roku stick products as well. So good time to buy Roku at a couple of different retailers. Just shop around for your price on that. This one is available over at Walmart. Amnon, this next one made me think of you.
Oh,
Looks like a keyboard that you're still using to this day, except this is a modern one. It's got the old school beige early 2000s keyboard look with it. This is the XVX Retro gaming keyboard. couple of cool features with this. It's got the in the upper right hand corner with the volume knob. It's actually got an OLED display that you can put various stats and things on, which is pretty cool. This is a 10 keyless keyboard. It's 100% mechanical, and it supports a couple of different modes: 2.4 gigahertz via a dongle, Bluetooth, or USB Type C wired. So you can connect it to a tablet, connect it to a laptop or desktop, or connect it to a device directly via USB C. $72. It's on sale over at Amazon. Make sure you click the link in the specials to get the promo. Plus, you can change out the keycap colors and make them green and yellow and red and blue and purple. A couple of cool different colors there. If you're going for that retro 90s, early 2000s computer look, this is a cool way to do it. 99 reviews, 4.5 stars, available over at Amazon. I'm sure we'll talk about this in a minute, but Steam and Valve announced new OLED versions of their Steam Decks. And with that, there is a discount on their regular Steam Deck. Their 256 gigabyte LCD model, which features a 1280 by 800 display, 7-inch diagonal screen, Wi Fi 5, 40 watt hour battery. This is coming in at $399. You're saving about $120 on that. There is a 1 to 2 week estimated delivery, so you can you can order that now. It'll be here for Christmas. The 64 gig model is also on sale for $349. That's the LCD model, and the 512 gig LCD model is on sale as well. So you can check out those different versions. Nice Christmas gift there. Available over at steampowered.com, or a link in our specials. And then
Are you biting
finally,
the bullet?
no,
No.
no, I don't video game enough to justify. My Switch has been sitting docked for the last since I went home for Christmas last year. So it's literally been 11 months it's been sitting there. Um, and then finally, we were talking about this earlier. Way to get into home automation. TP-Link Casa, they're a very reputable brand. This is the number one bestseller in electrical outlet switches on Amazon. It's got 51, almost 52,000 reviews. You get 4 smart switches for $22. It's an unbelievable deal. $22.99 is the price on that. You connect it with the Casa app. You can connect Casa to a Home Assistant. You can also connect it to A-Word and Google Assistant as well. A really good way to jump into this. Even if you use these things for your Christmas lights, that's what a lot of people do. You just you use them for a couple of months out of the year. This is a really good way, easy way to do that. Get rid of your old school peg timers that you have and just use some of this stuff. Again, available over at Amazon, $22.99, and that is
Hmm.
specials for the 12th of November. Remember.
Very nice, Nick.
Might have
Yeah,
to
some
pick up
decent specials.
those smart plugs because I bought a pack from Costco. It was like 3 for whatever how much it was, and or maybe it was 2. Doesn't matter. But they're amazing. Like, cause I now have it on my phone to where I could just swipe it. Cause they you can add. I have an Apple phone, boo, but they changed it now to the home screen where you can add like widgets or whatever.
Yep.
And
Yeah, you
so
can do that on Android for a long time.
I know, Apple sucks. I know, trust me, it's a pain in the butt. Um, but now that they've finally caught up, it's like yes,
Yeah.
love it.
All right. Um, let's take it back to magnetic cables for a minute. So I looked and I wanted the round connector,
Yeah, I
not
know.
not the oval,
I don't know exactly why though.
because it can spin around. And when I put it under the pillow in the morning, I just pull the wire out. I don't even pick up the, it's more versatile as far as anyway. I went ahead and I started researching, and I ended up getting, I replaced all our cables, in tips for about $70.
Okay.
And I'm talking about probably about 7 or 8 cables all around the house and in the cars. Um,
With me is I have like around probably between 20 to 30 tips spread around. So
yeah, the tips come with the cables. Every
but you need
pack,
more.
every pack you have 3 of them. So, but
Yeah,
I got a few
but I
more.
only use one out of the three
Yeah,
because it's one like this, one like this,
right.
one for
Correct.
iPhone, one for
Yeah.
USB-C, and one for yeah.
So I got it. I got the first box and I tried it and it worked great. I mean, really worked great. I then found another box. It was a few bucks less and I ordered it. Didn't work at all with the tips that I already had. So I started,
Because it's probably from a different manufacturer.
well, you see, the manufacturer with the original ones did not have that problem because it was only two connectors. This one here, when I looked at it, I said, "Oh, wait a second. The number of connectors at the bottom was different on that one that it was on the first one that I got." And here is, let me show you how the bottom of it is on the phone.
Yeah.
It is, well, you can see it. It's like circles. It's got circles so it can make the connection to
Yeah.
everything. But then I started finding out that, okay, now there are some that have 5 connectors, there are some that have 7 connectors, and there are some that have 9 connectors. And at the
Okay.
on the actual thing. So the first one that I got had the 7 connectors. But it's fine. The one with the 5 connectors works. But the one with the less than that, I think it was 4. No, I'm sorry. I got the one with the 9. The 7 works, but the 5 doesn't work. So I started, and nobody's advertising it as such. And they're different manufacturers. So you just have to look at the picture and see, okay, yeah, that's the one I have. Yep, that's the one I have. And I returned and got replacements and stuff, and it works great. And I cannot believe. Now, I did end up ordering I think 4 or 5 um fast chargers, which I did not have before. Well, it's not just fast chargers. The biggest problem to buy these cables, all of them are USB A to whatever, to the magnetic. I want, and with the USB A to magnetic, it works, but it's not as fast. I got a box of those, and when I put that on the phone, it says charging. When I use the USB C, it says
Because that's a different
turbo
standard. Yeah.
power. And I mean, from 20% to 100%, it's less than 2 hours. And this is with not with a really strong, I think it was a 20 watt, or maybe it was, yeah, 20 watt uh, cube. The hardest part was to find on Amazon the USB-C to USB-C with the right
Let me
connector.
ask you this.
Yeah.
Uh, does the magnetic manufacturer create adapters for existing cables? One
For
that you put it on the tip of an existing tip. So I showed
when you
this.
say existing, you're talking about the new
I
cables I
have
got.
this cable.
Yeah,
Okay. This is a USB-C cable.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I have this tip, which
With
at the end has a
USB-A.
magnetic. Oh, no, no. This is USB. This This is just the tip.
Okay.
Once I connect it to the cable, this cable now is a magnetic cable.
Oh,
Okay.
I did not look at
So if
that.
you have an adapter like
Yeah,
this, you can use any cable,
any cable. I
right?
saw some, but that's too many. I figure that's too many points of failure.
Nah,
I don't know. And they weren't cheap either.
they're
The
not
ones,
cheap.
yeah.
They're not cheap. There's a lot that goes into these things, especially if the cable is. The thing about USB C is when you're factoring uh, uh, Thunderbolt into USB C, right? USB C is the connector and the standard for communication.
Right.
Thunderbolt basically is a complete board that sits inside the plug,
Ok.
right? So in order for a cable to be high end Thunderbolt, there's Thunderbolt 4 now. Uh, that cable is a smart cable. It's not just a wire anymore, right? It's the design of the wire, especially and what's on the board at the tip there.
Oh,
I mean, Amazon, they always mark up their stuff way too much, but they have a cable selling for $130, right? Just one cable. Yeah. And I'm guessing you can find it at competitors for, I don't know, 25, $30, right? Uh, but it means that there's a lot of work going into the electronics at the tips, both ends. So
I
it's not a cable anymore.
yeah.
we're,
Well,
we're
I mean,
talking.
the thing is, I remember what you said about the company uh, replacing tips or cables, and I said, well, I can spend $30 a cable and have that, or I can try this, which is $18 for
Sure.
3 cables, and see how long they last. I mean, the other ones that I was using now for a few years, I never had to well, I replaced one cable, but not because it broke. You know, the LED at the end of it, the blue LED that they have, stopped working, and you kinda don't know, is it connected or not? So, this was in the beginning. So I put a different one, but I kept it. These work really nice, and sure enough, nothing gets hot. Um,
I'm all for it.
Kathy always had a problem. She said that she cannot, that her phone does not hold the charge for, like, 6, 7 hours, and that's it. And now that I'm using the fast charger for about a week now, last night I asked her, I said, "So how long does it?" She said, "It lasts forever."
So
Yeah,
it wasn't charging well.
I don't know. I was reading also, how bad is it? How bad is it to use fast charger? And
There's
you can
no
Google. It's not.
no.
It's
The whole
actually
idea about
better.
fast charging that it's smart charging.
Yeah.
So it negotiates
Right.
the optimal wattage,
Right.
right? It's yeah. Fast
Yeah.
charging
And
is amazing as a technology, but it's just invisible. So
when it's done charging, the phone, right on the phone, it says charged,
yeah,
charged. That's it. It's
yep,
finished, which is very, very nice. The other one will keep on charging and charging, and in the morning it'll be kind of hot sometimes.
yep.
So yeah, that was an eye opener for me. I didn't know that the thing works that way. And but the thing that I found out is that the same charger, those chargers I got have a USB A and USB C. And those cables that I got have an adapter from USB C to USB A. So if you have a charger that is USB A only, you can put that tip on the cable, not on the magnetic table, on the other cable, on the other magnetic end, but on the other end, and use it in a regular charger. When you do that, it lowers the rate of charging. Only if you have a USB-C to USB-C does it work fast. So
So
I got a couple
I
for the
think
car.
I think the reason is that the cable is a USB 2 standard. And if it'll be a USB 3.1 standard with an A connector, it'll work, right? But there's that difference that not like not many are aware of.
Well,
USB is a messed up standard at this point, right? Because of its history. But yeah, we're starting to get to a point where things are starting to normalize. Keep in mind though, if you're comparing a cable that costs anywhere between 3 to I don't know, $7,
mhm,
right? To a cable that costs 15 to $30, the reason is that there is some
but
smarts
yeah,
in the USB connector itself. So make sure you're buying something that adheres to the most recent standard.
right.
Uh, if you want this to connect to newer equipment.
Yep. So yeah, it was. I mean, I'm glad it came up last week and works great. I'm happy, and it does. I mean, it's. They were saying that it will condition the battery when you use a smart. After a couple of times, it will condition the battery, and you will get better retention. And I mean, she was complaining all the time, and Hannah was here, and when Kathy said, "Oh, it lasts forever," Hannah said, "Why?" She said, Kathy goes, "Oh, because I deleted all the emails I had there." And Hannah's looking, rolling her eyes, like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "No, I'm using that fast charger. That may be the reason." So yeah, all right. Next, after years of inflation, we're talking about streaming. Americans are used to sticker shock, but nothing compares to the surging price of streaming video. Last week, Apple TV Plus became the latest streaming service to raise its price, up from $6.99 to $9.99 per month, following the example of Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and Netflix, which all hiked their prices in October. Half of the major streaming platforms in the US now charge a monthly fee that's double the price they charged when they initially came to market. And many of these streaming services haven't even been around for 10 years. Consumers have grumbled, but have so far been willing to keep paying up. It's hard to say where their breaking point will be, but giving that analysis, believe that platforms are likely to continue raising prices even further. We'll probably find out soon enough. Part of what's driving the price hikes is how saturated the streaming market has become. For a company like Netflix, which has 77 million paid subscribers in the US and Canada, finding new paying subscribers to keep revenue growing is not easy. Netflix has started clamping down on password sharing to boost its paid subscriber rolls, but that only goes so far. Raising prices for existing subscribers is an effective way to pump up the top line and keep investors happy.
Well, it's
Yeah,
not surprising they're raising the prices because companies are going to keep raising prices until people stop paying.
yeah. You, how much are you paying now for Disney? Do you know?
I don't know. I canceled my subscription.
Oh, yep. I'm thinking about doing that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I did have Disney. I would buy it a year at a time because they had such good deals. Like it was like $45 for a year. It was
Uh-huh.
crazy. And now it's like 140 or 150 or whatever it is. And I
Sheesh,
said,
yeah.
nope, I'm done. So if I'm not subscribed, I really want to watch Loki. So I'll subscribe for a month
Yep.
and watch all of Loki and then unsubscribe.
Yeah.
The only streamer who raises fees, and while it pisses off a few people, I think still gains new customers is Amazon Prime. And that is because people are not buying it for the video streaming, or if they
Yeah.
are, they're getting a lot more for it
Yeah.
than video streaming. And keep in mind, the price is equivalent, right? When you compare it, it costs about approximately the same as a Netflix subscription, but you get so much more on it. So the only ones who are doing it right for now seems to be Amazon.
It's almost
And
not fair to compare them because
I know.
Amazon, like the streaming service, is just part of it.
And the thing is that it's mostly invisible. I think most consumers of Amazon haven't even checked what's on Amazon Video Prime at all,
Now,
right?
there is one reason they're starting to look at Amazon Video Prime more. If you are a sports fan,
Right.
uh, Thursday
Thursday
Night
nights, right?
Football is
Yeah.
only available on Amazon Prime. So you've got a lot of people that for the first time are probably opening up the Prime Video app on their phone or their smart device and seeing all that's available on there. That's what I was doing Thursday night, and that's what I've done every Thursday night for the last 9 weeks. They actually have Amazon's got a Black Friday game this year, right after Thanksgiving, exclusively on Prime. So I think you're getting a lot more traction into that platform now because people are forced to use it to watch football.
And uh, what they're getting a very established selection. Plus, correct me here, but they're one of the only ones who are actually offering subscriptions from others. So you can use their system and still be, buy an HBO subscription on top of it or something, right? So,
Yep.
yeah.
I see John is asking in the chat is if there are magnetic connectors for laptop PCs. That's a good
Yeah, the
question.
Volta charger, their Spark is designed for laptops.
But I
So
mean,
it'll work with
USB-C
power
laptops,
delivery.
though.
Yeah, it'll work with power delivery of 100, 130 watts. It'll work.
but for USB-C.
Yeah. So if your
Yes.
laptop does
Yeah,
not have
because
I mean,
USB-C, you're
You
lap-
need a
SOL.
connector, right? You're talking about a magnetic connector. So it
yeah,
needs
but
to be somehow some sort of standard
but
than
yeah, that's the
USB-C.
thing is because laptops have different connectors on them.
Right.
A lot of them are not proprietary, but different. And I don't. You're probably going to need if you were going to do it any other way, you would need a kit with about 50 different connectors on it to make sure that yours. But yeah, if your laptop is USB C, then I'm sure you could. Yeah.
Yeah. Not necessarily the one you bought.
No,
And
no, no,
we need
no,
to check the
no.
specs
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
But Volta Chargers Spark, their latest one, was designed
For
for MacBooks specifically.
so there you go, John. Um, talking about apps on phones and stuff on 9 to 5 Mac has found evidence in the iOS 17.2 beta code that hints the company is moving toward enabling side loading on iOS devices.
That'll be the day.
Uh,
I mean, I would love the day that that would happen, right? And we do see that the EU lawsuits seem to be pointing to that. But yeah,
yeah, it said that the iOS 17.2 has a new public framework called Managed App Distribution. And they go in to say, while our first thought was that this API would be related to MDM solutions for
right.
installing enterprise apps, which is already possible on iOS, it seems that Apple has been working on something more significant than that. By analyzing the new API, we've learned that it has an extension endpoint declared in the system, which means that other apps can create extensions of this type. Digging even further, we found a new unused entitlement that will give third party apps permission to install other apps. In other words, this would allow developers to create their own app stores. This is coming from 9 to 5 from 9 to 5 Mac. Yeah, that would be something.
Mhm.
Finally. Are you reading about it? Oh,
I'm
oh,
I'm
oh, I
I
thought you did.
don't know how it'll
All right.
work. I mean,
So last week was a monumental week. 40 years ago, Microsoft introduced its new graphical user interface for MS DOS, inspired by the Xerox PARC project Alto, as was the Apple Mac.
you mean inspired by their work with Steve Jobs on Lisa?
Maybe it says the Apple Mac also.
Yeah.
It was their first attempt to address the user unfriendliness of the standard computer interface. Named Windows 1.0, after the windows it created to view individual running programs, it's generated quite a bit of interest at the initial level, initial reveal. Unfortunately, difficulty in ironing out bugs, especially in memory management, delayed release for 2 years to November 85. So that's interesting. 40 years since Windows hit.
Birthday Windows.
I
Happy
don't
birthday,
remember which is the
Windows.
first. I think the first Windows that I installed was Windows 3. I don't know which. I can't remember.
I think my school had Windows 95. I think the first computer I ever messed with was those Bubble Macs. Like the
Yes.
yeah,
Those were
it,
super popular in schools. They pretty much gave them to schools for free.
yeah, and we learned that if you hold magnets up to them, the monitor does cool things, and so we kept doing that. That's probably why they got rid of them because we just destroyed them.
Hmm. Let's see what else is here. Encrypted messaging service Signal is now testing usernames,
Oh,
which will
Oh, that's good.
this is huge. Yeah,
This
this
is
is
huge.
great.
Finally, anonymity.
which will offer people a more private way to share their contact details on the app.
Yep.
Signal kicked off the public test last week through a new beta build available in its community forums. After rounds of internal testing, we have hit the point where we think the community that powers these forums can help us test even further before public launch. The
In a
development is a
way,
huh?
now that I'm looking at this, I think this is a they made a good choice because they have established a network, a user base that is large enough, responsible enough, and identified at this point, right? Because everybody is connected to an endpoint with a phone number. Now, yeah, some of them might be burners. That's true, but it's still the case, right? Uh, and now where they are opening it for complete anonymity, it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Oh well.
Is
It says that development is a big deal since Signal, an end to end encrypted messaging app, has long required users to sign up with a phone number. That same number also needs to be shared in order to message other users on the app. This can be problematic since sharing your phone number exposes you to privacy and hacking risks. For example, a contact on Signal could choose to call and message your number over an unencrypted cellular network or pass off the number to someone else. So, yeah, that is nice. We'll see how long it is before they release it to the public. And there was something here also about WhatsApp.
Early 2024, it says.
Well,
Does it
that's,
say that you'll be able to sign up without a number? Or can you use a
uh,
username instead of sharing your cell phone number? I would be shocked if you'll be able to make an account without a phone number.
I did not read anything about that.
I would be shocked if that's the
Yeah,
case.
we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Maybe Gal can
Right
find out.
now, it's the same in the beta. Once you're registered and running the staging app, navigate to settings, profile, and privacy phone number to explore the new functionality available in these builds. So for now, the registration process is exactly the same. Uh, but but even if that's the case, that's fine, because if eventually you will be able to disconnect the number from the username, right? Then yeah, you could use a burner phone for all that's needed, or your, I don't know, your your work phone number, you know, validate that you're a human being and then disconnect it or something. It's going to change things. The real question is whether the account is still going to be connected specifically to a specific phone number. That's I think that's the most important part to understand. But even if not, but even if it does, it's still a huge move forward. There's no reason for me to be able to connect wow, I
Anonymously.
can't speak, anonymously, with somebody, right? And not provide them the phone number.
Mhm.
So that's, yeah, that's key. That's huge.
Oh,
I have a suspicion that it will be exactly the same as it is now. And you'll just share your username with somebody instead of having to share the phone number. I would be shocked if they give you the opportunity to disconnect the number. I think that would break the whole ecosystem. It's just it's a friendlier way of sharing a name instead of giving out a phone number.
Well, it's more than friendly, right? It's an identity thing.
Sure.
But yeah.
time will tell. And WhatsApp has introduced a new privacy feature that lets you hide your IP address from whoever you call over the encrypted communication platform.
Hmm.
As it stands, one to one calls over WhatsApp are established as a direct peer to peer connection between users. While this ensures the best possible voice quality, it means the connected devices must reveal their IP address to each other. According to WhatsApp, the new privacy setting introduced last week works differently by relaying all of your calls through WhatsApp's servers to obfuscate your location rather than connecting you directly to the person you are calling. And now they're going to be able to record all your calls too, right?
I mean, that really depends, because if we're talking about point to point encryption, the real question is the unencrypted stream going to reach those servers, or only an encrypted stream? If they're keeping the encryption point to point, then it's only a bandwidth hit. I but I do not really understand uh, the monetary choice here. So by them allowing point-to-point communications between two endpoints, they are out of the game. So bandwidth isn't consumed through their servers, right? And only
Right.
messaging bandwidth matters
Mhm.
because they host the actual messages. Um, if they allow, if they are diverting all of the calls through them and the service stays on free, right? Who's paying for the lights? Who's paying for the bandwidth? So unless they can listen into everything and the AI can collect all of the information that it wants, and that creates it. That's a privacy like issue. So
Mhm.
let's see what the analysts and the technical analysts are going to say about this,
Yep. Time
because
will
I'm
tell.
sure they're going to test it. I'm sure.
And
By the
talk
way, when it comes to Signal and usernames, maybe we shouldn't be happy.
uh
So 2018, there were the feature of username was already baked into the code but never used. 2019, there were announcement of development of username beginning, and in 2020, um, that's when the profile pin started, and they stated that this is the first step into supporting usernames eventually. And in 2022, they said usernames are coming early 2023. And now we hear that usernames are coming early 2024. There's a beta version, but we don't know how fast this is going to be deployed. So it's been taking a while.
that's okay. We're gonna continue using it anyway.
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
But let me point out, we are using it, right, between ourselves.
Mhm.
But I don't think that since we started using it, that we got more people on it.
Oh, I got a bunch of people on it.
Well, I have not. I have not, and not only that is some of my family members have like they rarely open it, so the only way for me to
To
actually
do.
reach them is WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm finding I mean, I know I sent you some things on WhatsApp because I'm finding it impossible, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, to forward certain things that come on WhatsApp through Signal. I can't move it there, even though it's allowing me to share and it says Signal, it's not doing it.
no, with Signal you need to save and then you can send it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with Signal the data, the media data that you receive, if you receive a video or an audio, that is staying encrypted in its message database. It's not saved to the local
Okay.
storage.
Oh,
Okay, so if you save it, then you can forward it.
so that's
And
why
every
you're
time you
getting
save something, it says, "Hey, note, you're right. You're breaking privacy," because it's a privacy-oriented system.
yeah, but
It works in a completely different mindset,
all right, and
very
talking about
paranoid mindset.
messaging clients, the author here says that Gmail wants to be an instant messaging client.
Email,
Gmail.
what
It
with
says
Google Chat?
last
Yeah,
month the
seriously.
popular what?
Said seriously, they've had Google Chat and Google Talk for a
I
decade.
don't know. It
And
says
before that, it was Hangouts.
Yeah.
last month the popular webmail app shipped an emoji reactions bar in the mobile app where a single tap would send a new email with your emoji response. Now, a wild new UI experiment spotted by Android police goes another step further. A quick reply bar that looks just like instant messaging input. Rather than the usual input block you get for writing paragraphs of overly formal text. This new Gmail experiment has a one-line input bar at the bottom for replies. A drop-down menu just above it lets you pick from the usual reply, reply all, or forward options. Besides that, you get an attachment and send button. An expand button will presumably launch the usual compose interface. Now, this they're talking about the mobile app of Gmail. They're not talking about logging into your Gmail account.
Uh, yeah, the mobile app in Gmail is really frustrating to use.
Really?
I never
Yeah.
used it. I don't know.
Oh wait, you're on iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah. The development there is different. So
Oh,
Outlook already has something like this. There you can react to messages that it doesn't send another email, but what it will do is in the conversation thread, you can see that X, Y, or Z reacted to an email. Just like you do on iOS. When if Katie sends me a message, I give her a thumbs up. It doesn't add a new message that says
yeah, it
Nick
just
thumbs up your message. It just shows the little emoji there. Outlook does that already. And I like how they do it. I don't think I want to get another email that Gal reacted with a laughing emoji. That would
Yeah.
probably just piss me off more than anything else.
Yeah.
you know about those reactions to instant messages in Apple and iMessage,
Mhm.
and you know that when you do that to an SMS, it's used to send an SMS that says some that Nick liked this message, right?
Yes.
Uh, on Android, it now shows the emoji,
Oh,
but
great.
if Android responds back, right, iMessage will show that Gal has liked the will provide the long message only on the iMessage side because iMessage did not adapt to
And they probably won't.
yeah, and they probably yeah.
Yeah. They'll say, nope, that's an Android person. That's a green text. Ignore them.
well, the thing here is with the reactions. For the longest time, I wasn't paying attention to them. I mean, it notifies you the same way with the same tone,
Mhm.
and you
Well,
look
you
and there
can
is no
change the
new
tone.
message. And I said, "Oh, it must be such a time." You look and you look and no, it's not. And one time I saw that. Oh, wait a second! Somebody put thumbs up. So I
That
started
was probably me.
scrolling back and I saw others. I said, "Oh, so that's why I'm getting notifications." So it goes both ways. Now I'm used to it, so it's okay.
Yeah,
And
but I
you're
think
right. Yeah.
you can change the notification sound or reaction. At least on
Uh,
Android you can.
well, I don't know. I mean, I'm having a hard time with that Android, the new phone that I have to change some of the tones just for certain thing. It's
It depends on the application, but
yeah.
most applications they have ways of
Well,
distinguishing.
the one that I really want to change uses the default. You can't change it. It's
What is that?
ridiculous. I can't remember when I was. It is. I can't think now.
Show it to me after the show.
Yeah. All right. So earlier this year, Mozilla acquired FakeSpot, a
Oh,
startup that leverages AI and machine learning to identify fake and deceptive product reviews.
yeah, yeah. I use them a lot.
Yeah, so it says now Mozilla is launching its first LLM, the large language model, with the arrival of FakeSpot Chat, an
Hmm.
AI agent that will help consumers as they shop online by answering questions about the product or even suggesting questions that could be useful in your product research. FakeSpot has been using AI, including generative AI technologies, to make the online shopping process more trustworthy. not less. For instance, it launched a generative AI feature called Pros and Cons last year that could replace the need for reading reviews by writing up its own summaries of product positive and negatives. The feature was trained on billions of data points, with the model itself using 5 different models under the hood. And this is really nice. I mean, when you think about it, if I understand it correctly, the AI will go and read all the reviews or a whole bunch of the reviews and write a summary. A lot of them are the same thing, the reviews, kind of like, they talk
Well,
about the same.
that's what FakeSpot has been doing, right? And the fact that Mozilla now owns them, it from the news article I read, they bought them earlier this year. So this is it's not like out of the blue, but
Yeah.
the fact that Mozilla now is behind FakeSpot, and now that I open FakeSpot, I see FakeSpot by Mozilla, which is great. That is I mean, they're one of the better organizations online to trust, right? I mean, I hope they won't break this trust ever, but right now they're one of the champions of privacy on the web, and the fact that they are doing something like this is very interesting. FakeSpot was doing this for a long time, analyzing with AI, trying to figure out whether a review is good or not.
Is real or not.
And yeah, and it has all of the data. So the way it does, it ingests right um, a product page on Amazon and cross references all of the reviews
Hmm.
by by looking at what these people review as well, right? So if I wrote a review on a page and it reads it, it goes and it checks what other products did I review and how did I review them, and it basically rates whether I am a good reviewer or not, right? Like if I'm a biased reviewer or not. And so and by scoring this, they then go on all of the reviews and they basically say, okay, the reviews on this page are really really skewed, right, or not, and they rate the review rating. They do not provide, they do provide some sort of calculated you should look at this review as blah blah blah, the review rating as such and such, but in essence, it goes and says you can trust the reviews on this page or not. And that means if you can also ask it questions because it already ingested all of the
Hmm.
reviews pulled in, that is going to make it a very much more likely, like a shopper companion that actually means something. So yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm hoping that this will not cause a surge of fake reviews now, because people know that, oh, AI reads it, so let's put a whole bunch of them. Oh yeah, it's great. Oh yeah, it's great.
No,
I
that
don't.
won't work. That's one of the things that FakeSpot is already quite good at detecting. Those if you provide a lot of reviews or very little reviews, right? Then you're ranked differently.
Yeah.
And if you're providing a lot of reviews and all of them are enthusiastically positive, right? And using the same wording for that enthusiastically positive experience, right? Then you're of no interest. The system
Okay.
takes your review and takes it aside. That is not a review that matters, right? Because you're going to only say where things are working or etc., right? So you're going to be biased. The reason you're either promoting yourself, right, or you're promoting somebody else, and that is of no interest. But if you provide an honest opinion, right, an honest opinion looks different, and it'll look different on different products. And so that is where the AI will chime in and say, okay, this review means more, and it'll take out of it. And if it can do that on 100 of reviews, right, and aggregate the essence and the feeling around that product, then yeah,
So is this
that's a great add-on.
so it's an add-on, it's not a standalone
Well,
thing.
it's a website actually. You just provide a URL of the page in Amazon or Best Buy or something, and it
Oh,
gives
so
you
it's
a
not like
rating.
if you
It
use the
has add-ons that hook up to the website and make it automatic on the Amazon page, but you do not necessarily need an add-on. You can just plug in a URL, and it'll give you an analysis of that URL.
Okay. All right. And the last thing, GPT-4. Well, GPT, ChatGPT. In an ingenious study published this summer, US researchers showed that within a few months of the launch of ChatGPT, copywriters and graphic designers on major online freelancing platforms saw a significant drop in the number of jobs they got, an even steeper decline in earnings. This suggested not only that generative AI was taking their work, but also that it devalues the work they do still carry out. Most strikingly, the study found that freelancers who previously had the highest earning and completed the most jobs were no less likely to see their employment and earning decline than other workers. If anything, they had worse outcomes. In other words, being more skilled was no shield against loss of work or earnings. But the online freelancing market covers a very particular form of white collar work and of labor market. What about looking higher up the ranks of the knowledge worker class? For that, we can turn to recent fascinating Harvard Business School study, which monitors the impact of giving GPT-4, OpenAI's latest and most advanced offering, to employees at Boston Consulting Group. Um, Katie, what do you have to say about this?
It's not surprising, but also too, it's not like AI is the only reason that freelancers have gone down. I'm curious to see what they define as freelance and where they're getting this and where they're getting the data, because American freelancers have their work has gone down significantly over the past 10 years. And it's not because of AI, even though now it's because of AI. It's because all these other countries
Right.
are they're getting the internet online, they're getting their education online as far as like doing the online marketing stuff, like they're shipping out the work overseas, and you
Yeah.
could see that with Fiverr. So Fiverr
Competition.
competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go on Fiverr all the time, and I'll order somebody to do like a logo design or something, and they'll charge like 30-40 bucks, which is ridiculously
Yeah.
cheap, and that's because they're out of Singapore or wherever they're out of.
Yeah.
And to hire a freelancer in the US or the UK or Europe to do that, you're talking like a few $100s. So that's been happening over the past like 10 years, if you want to talk about freelance. And then AI, it's just, I'm curious if AI, if they're talking about freelancers globally, um, taking the work away from the other people that they used to outsource it from. I know they outsource it to computers, but it's been a trend that's been happening for a while. It's not like the AI stuff just exacerbates the issue, but it's been happening
Now
for a while.
you tried to have uh, an AI program design a logo for you.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I've had Midjourney do
And
logo
a-
stuff.
and
Well, you can't use it straight up. So, or I don't think it's good enough. So here's the thing. This
okay.
is your definition of if it's good enough or not. Mom and pop shop where maybe having the greatest logo in the world, it doesn't matter. AI logo is going to be good enough. Uh, for me, AI image is just a jumping point. What I need to do with the logo is not only just like have a drawing of a logo, but I need a transparent version, I need a white version, I need a black version, I need a color version, I need different sizes, because the logo I know is going to be on multiple things. Like the size of a logo for a business card, it's going to be different for the size of a logo that goes on Facebook. So that stuff the AI can't do for me. But it can do the initial design that I then can take and expand upon.
Okay, but in other words, that would save you the 30 or $40 going to Fiverr.
Yeah, well, so you could still use Fiverr to do all that stuff that I listed out that I don't want to do.
Oh,
So I
okay.
can go to AI and I can have it pump out a bunch of logos that I like, give those logos to the Fiverr artist and be like, hey, take these images and I like where this direction's going. Make a logo based off of this, and then give me all the different sizes
Okay.
and iterations that I need.
Oh, all right. So
But we're talking
And
about images.
are they using AI tools?
Oh, if they're smart, they would be.
they're just the middleman.
Yeah. But again, it comes down to for $30, I would gladly give somebody $30 to go do something that would take me, I don't know, 3 to 4 hours to do, or maybe a day to do, where they just like, here's $30, go do it. I have other things I need to do.
Huh?
As a businesswoman, my time is precious.
Oh. All right. Well, it's that time of day. Is there anything else anybody wants to bring up or talk about or
Uh, just
whatever?
I just gotta keep pumping out stuff and taking photos, posting it online, and
That's fine. You're having fun
marketing.
doing it though.
No, I like the selling part. I like talking to people
Yep.
part. I don't like the back end part. Can I give somebody $30 to do the back end part?
Yeah, Fiverr.
No, they need to be here. They need to take pictures of all my crap.
Oh. All right. Got anything?
No.
All right. See Nick. Oh, there he is. He's coming back. Anything you want to add before we sign off, Nick?
Good to go.
All right. Well, again, thanks, Nick, Kyle, Katie, and good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. And also update any same password or change any same password that you're using in two different places, make it unique to each place. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Nick is on Wilmington's 980 The Wave and 107.9 FM with his daily news and commentary show. You can tell your A word device to play 980 The Wave, or you can go later on and listen to the recordings at nickcraig.com. And Nick and Brian also do the Infection podcast on Twitch, which is a gaming, survival games podcast. Go to Infection Podcast, twitch.tv/Infection Podcast to find out when. It is in the evenings, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday at 7 p.m. So it's twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. Have a great week, everybody. See you again soon.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.